Hey everybody, thanks for coming. We are doing makeup today and we're having some fun. I've been watching a lot of these makeup tutorial videos and I love them. They're absolutely my rabbit hole when I go onto the internet. And they are being done by these really beautiful young women in their 20s and in their 30s and maybe even a couple in their early 40s. But as we get a little bit older, we have a different set of challenges. I'm throwing my hat in the ring because I'm 51. So we're going to be going through a lot of stuff that can be used at any age and a lot of stuff that's specific to more seasoned face. So let's get to seasoning. This is the Benefit Highbrow. You're probably looking at that backwards. A Benefit Highbrow pencil. It used to be called Eye Bright. What I do with it is the hack. I get underneath the bags under my eyes and color in the darkest lines. Just filling them right in, brightening up that area. And I know that it looks a little bit strange, but the other products that we're going to be using is going to blend that right out. In the meantime, we want to lighten up the darkest parts. Next thing we're going to do is use a little bit of the Benefit Boing, which is this. It's like an industrial strength concealer. And I'm going to use this on my age spots. A lot of the younger makeup tutorial people don't really have to do with it. There we go. Next thing we're going to move on to is going to be the foundation, which I'm using the Sephora Fond de Teint in light number 4. So I'm going to get a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm splotchy. Got a splotchy. Use my beauty blender. Dotting it on. You can dot it on with your fingers. Doesn't make a difference. Not to me anyway. As far as using whatever tools you're going to use, you have to do what's best for you, what works for you. And now we start to blend it out. So now we are going to move on to the concealer. I am using the Makeup Forever HD, and this color is 10. So dabbing this on. And the Makeup Forever is actually also blendable. It's light enough. It's not going to get all cakey. These products, a lot of them I bought at Sephora or Ulta, but I use just as many drugstore products and can achieve the same look. So it doesn't have to be expensive versions of what you need. And I'm using this tiny little beauty blender. How cute is that? Ah! You can already see that where I used the highbrow underneath my eyes is blending out beautifully, and you can't really see the brightness. But with the layering that I'm doing, you can tell that the bags underneath my eyes are fading just a little bit. Just need a little bit of help. I'm not trying to look 20 again. That's the ship has sailed. I'm just trying to do the best with what I have. I think we're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good too. Okay, so there we go with the concealer. Now the very next thing I'm going to do is going to be a little bit controversial, because when you are young you can probably bake and set with powder. And it's not really going to be that big of a deal. But when you're older, powder's very strongly not recommended. However, I am going to use a powder, and this is the Hourglass Setting Powder in Translucent Veil. But what I'm going to do with it is I am going to put a little bit underneath each eye to protect the eye area, under eye area, for when I do my eye makeup. So I am just going to pat a little bit of powder underneath each eye. Let's move on to the eyes. This is so much fun. So I am using the Pretty Vulgar. I'm not calling it names. The name of it is Pretty Vulgar palette. in Pretty Birdie. And this is a really gorgeous color palette. Look at those colors. Look at how stunning that is. Put a little bit of primer on my eyelids. You can use a concealer, you can use foundation, you can use an eyeshadow, maybe a cream-based eyeshadow as the primer. Use primer. For the primer, I'd use the Sephora Hydrate. I do use an awful lot of Sephora products. They're good, solid products, but I'm not here to pitch anything. Like I said, everything here I have in both an Ulta brand and drugstore brand, and you can pretty much achieve the same looks. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the eyeshadow. We're going to start with this dark teal color here, and I'm going to use a tiny little brush. I prefer to use the tiny little brushes because my eyes are fairly small and it's a little bit more of the precision work. I can move on to a larger brush later on. So we're going to try to find my crease. Because I'm 51, my eye's fairly hooded. Plus, I've always had sort of almond-shaped eyes, so finding the crease is always a bit of a struggle. So we are going to make faces in order to find the crease. And I have found the best face to be Robert De Niro. Yep. There it is. There's the crease right here. Yep. So we're going to start tapping in that color just a little bit right into the crease here. About 2/3 of the way. Okay, now we got a little bit of the crease color on, and I am going to add a little bit of eyeliner. I'm going to be using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On, and this color is LSD. It's kind of like a dark disco blue, but the color really isn't going to make much of a difference. I'm actually using this kind of as a base. So when I start to put on the eyeshadow at the lash line and the waterline, whatever eyeshadow that I put there is really going to adhere to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on top. And we're doing both the lash line and the waterline. And that lash line is on the outside, and when I pull down, this is the waterline. Okay, now we're going to continue, and we are going to add a little bit of this, again with the bright jewel tone teal. Sorry, not the bright, the dark jewel tone teal, and we're going to be putting that underneath. And this is where the powder is helping protect, but I'm sensing a little bit of fallout with this color, so I'm going to put on a bib. I'm going to put on an eye bib, which is really just one of these makeup remover pads, and fold it over, which is going to have the added benefit of taking off some of that setting powder that we just don't really need, other than to protect the under eye area from some of these heavily pigmented eyeshadows that produce some fallout. You'll notice I have a little bit of a space here. We're going to be adding a lighter color inside that space. There we go. I'm going to use this brush right here for the lighter color. I am going to be using, I was originally going to be doing this one, but I think I want to actually add a little bit of this light tealy blue color right just in the corner of my eye. So I'm going to start with that one because it looks like fun. Makeup is fun. Get my bib, my just in case bib, and we're going to be adding it to the inside corner. Oh, what a gorgeous color. And we're going to kind of be dragging that right into the middle there. I don't know if you can hear me because my hand was actually over my mouth when I did that. But look how beautifully those two colors go together. It's a very harmonious palette. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we are going to give this a little smokiness underneath the eye, a little bit more smokiness, I should say. We're going to get a Smoky Joe. Okay, so we're going to go again in with this lighter fun color blue. It's a shimmer that I just put in the inside of my eyelids, and we are going to go just underneath, a tiny bit of overlapping underneath. A little bit of protection. Okay, getting a good smoke. There. Now we've got a little bit of good smoke going on here. I'm going to take a little bit of a blending brush with nothing on it. So now we're just going to blend this a little bit upward. Make it a little bit softer and a little bit blurry. Good, good. Now that that is done, we are going to do a little bit of contour. Big fan of contour. I actually came to contouring also pretty late in life, but it's fun. Have fun. It's makeup. Come on. So I am using a Wet n Wild in the medium color. I'm using the cream stick. Again, I have like an LA contour palette that I can use, but it's a powder. And while I will use it, I will only use it really sparingly because putting powders on the face is just not the greatest thing once you're 51. Okay, so here we go. Hollows of the cheeks. A little bit down the sides of the nose. A little bit above the eyebrows. And the chin line. And like I said, most of these makeup tips can be used for any age. But there are some things that are really going to help out women that are, you know, a smidge older, a smidge more experienced. It's a lot of fun. I'm so glad you guys are here with me. Okay, so I'm going to take, this is actually a Wet n Wild brush, and I love these for blending the contour sticks because it has a flat head. Look at that. Bump, bump, bump. And the bristles are fairly dense, so it's kind of perfect for what I needed to do. Okay, contour done. Next step is we're going to be doing blush. I am using the Tarte 24-hour Amazonian Clay. The color that I am using is called Dazzled. Look at that. That's a great color. I love it. And like I said, I just put on the contour so you don't really need a great deal of it. And I'm going to be using this huge fluffy brush to do it. So you want to put it on the apples of your cheeks. Where are the apples of your cheeks, you say? Make some faces. You'll find it. See? Apples. Apples. There we go. That's done. Next step is going to be highlighter. Love highlighter. I also came to highlighter fairly late in life. I've only been using highlighter for about the last 10 years. I am using the Jouer palette in Rose Quartz. This is the Jouer. and that is the color Rose Quartz. Seriously, look at how gorgeous that color is. Oh, it's amazing. Don't be afraid to highlight stuff. So I'm going to be using this highlighter on the top of my cheekbones. Just give a little bit. You don't need much. Just a little bit. Now the highlighter for people my age and your age and the age that you're going to be eventually, this video can help everybody, is that it actually ends up giving your skin sort of a youthful, dewy, moisturized appearance, which is one of the reasons why I love highlighter so much. Now we are going to do the tip of my nose, because I feel like the first time I saw that, I'm like, yeah, you look like a cartoon, but it actually has a nice effect. It makes the light hitting your face hit it in different ways and on different planes, and I love the effect that it can do. There we go. Going to do a little bit of the highlighter here. Just above the eyebrows. There we go. I'm going to take a clean blush brush. It's similar to the contour brush with the flat head, and I'm just going to go over underneath the eyes just to get rid of any excess powder that may be there. Okay, next thing we're going to do is eyelashes. I love doing eyelashes. You don't need them with every makeup look, but I haven't been doing them as much because they are fairly time consuming until I found magnetic lashes. Now it's super simple, so I'm going to put these on. It's a little harder to talk. I'll put these on and I'll be right back to you. Okay, there we go, lashes on. I love using the magnetic lashes. They go much, much quicker. If you have the magnetic lash liner on in the right place, it's just a question of a precision landing and then you're good to go, and they're very secure. We're going to do a little bit of a lip. We're almost done. I'm using a nude. I love nudes. I love a nude lip. I am going to be using a lip liner. My top lip is obviously, because you have eyeballs, can see that my top lip is a lot smaller than my bottom lip, so we're going to try to cheat that just a little bit. I think this is a Revlon. So for the top lip, I'm just going to go just outside of my natural lip line, just outside. You could go a lot farther than that, but then you might look like a clown. And for the lipstick color, I'm going to be using Charlotte Tilbury, who also does a really gorgeous nude. I think this one is called Nude Kate. Look how pretty that thing is. Ugh, it's gorgeous. Look at that color. Delicious. Delicious. Got some peach going on in there. A little bit of coffee color. Oh, I love this. Okay, and one little tiny last step, which you don't have to do if you don't want to, because, it's your face. Tiny little bit of highlighter. The highlighter will do when you have a thinner upper lip, probably even a thinner lower lip, is it's going to bring light there and make it feel like it's a little bit fuller than it actually is. See? See what the light did? Okay, we did it. We got a face on. Let me do my hair real quick and show you the final result. Okay, we did it. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I have enjoyed doing this so much. For me, makeup and my face and Sephora and Ulta and even the Walgreens makeup counter, these are all my playgrounds, and I'm so glad that you guys came to play with me today. So go have fun. Don't be afraid. It's just makeup. Go find your face.